what is something small that instantly improves your day?
We want to start with that. What is something small that instantly improves my day? Do you want to go first? Hold on. I was going to try to avoid the mic, but I was like, whatever. I'm gonna be eating and drinking the entire time, and you're going to hear that.
I think a little thing that has been improving my life starting 3 weeks ago was waking up early and working out in the morning. It just makes me feel so much better.
Was that 3 weeks ago?
I think so. I want to say...
Yeah, because you didn't want to do it at first.
Well, you had been recommending it for a long time.
And now I can't do it. Now we just flipped. Yeah, that...
Ever since I was in college, then you had been recommending us waking up early, even though we weren't, like, living in the same city for most of the time.
Yeah. Well, you would sleep in if you didn't have class. And I was like, well, if you get up earlier, you might feel motivated or whatever. And now we're doing that, and I'm the one sleeping in.
You never want to wake up. Your wake up time is 7. I try to get you up earlier.
Oh, or 8.
Yeah, Vince can't function until 7 o'clock at the earliest.
Well, I can. I just don't. I don't feel like it sometimes.
Not on the regular.
No, if I get in the habit of doing it, I'll do it, which we've done,
and
I do.
You've been doing better.
Yeah.
The last week.
Well, I've been staying up late.
Yeah.
Doing work, and so I don't really have the motivation to get up as early in the morning.
Well, I think also since I've been on my bachelorette trip last week and then I got sick this week, we've been off our game for just a few minutes. What is a small thing that improves your day?
What's a small thing that improves my day?
Or like it just instantly once it happens, you have a better day because of it.
Get that sip in. What's a small thing? Well, then it would be a big thing.
I guess my thing was kind of monumental.
What?
Oh, my thing.
Yeah.
Working out in the morning.
Oh, that's right. Working out.
But, what's something
Does it have to be something we do in the morning, or can
No, just anything.
Something randomly throughout the day? I think if it's a sunny day outside and I go out and spend like 5 minutes in the sun, I usually just feel 10 times better.
Yeah.
Or you take your shoes off, walk outside on the grass. Grounding. Yeah, that helps. Alcohol. No. I would say, just natural. If it's a beautiful day outside. Now, if it's a rainy day, I have to find other things that are going to improve my day. Obviously, seeing you throughout the day, checking in on you, or you checking in on me.
Yay. Don't quit. You can keep going.
But I don't know. There's a lot of different things. I will say, and I think I've told you this before. Are we good?
Sorry.
I will say that getting up early, well, if it is early, getting up when the sun comes through the windows and turning music on, making breakfast, making coffee. The espresso machine you got me for Christmas, or got us for Christmas, has been probably my favorite gift I've ever received in my life.
Vincent, wow.
Well, it's been great. I mean, it's paid off. It's been great. And I like the ritual of making espresso every morning with my breakfast. And then I drink a lot of it, and then by midday I crash.
And the love of your life.
Yeah. But that's something that I enjoy too. I think a lot of it's dependent on the sun. I didn't realize, sometimes you don't realize how dependent you are on the sun.
Yeah, how have you been feeling since the sun has been gone for about a week and a half now?
At least it's warm out.
Yeah. You haven't gone out half as much as you usually do.
Yeah, there's less reason to.
Yeah.
But I still enjoy it.
A bug. Okay, cool. So Vincent likes the sun and I like waking up earlier. I really enjoy, I will say, another thing that we do sometimes, not a lot, but after we eat, we go for a walk around the neighborhood.
Well, we've done that
actually,
twice.
Yeah. It's improved me though. Improved my mental health and just being able to talk to you since we're so busy all the time. It seems to be one of the times that we can just talk about what we want to talk about, or
having designated or not bringing the phone, and just walking and talking and looking at the sunset if it's the sun is setting.
Which usually it is, because we usually have dinner pretty early for the most part.
Sometimes.
We had it at 4 today, so
very early. Well, it was late lunch.
Yeah. Okay, what is the weirdest compliment you have ever gotten?
Weirdest compliment I've ever received was probably... No. No, that's probably not the weird. I've had some weird compliments.
Really?
Nothing stands out to me right now. But yes, I have had a client who has... First day I ever met this client. First thing out of their mouth was, "Oh, I didn't realize you were this attractive." And I was like, "Oh, okay." Obviously, they didn't mean anything by it. It was the most genuine, just
nice person thing ever.
Yeah. And so, I just took that and rolled with it, but it was definitely interesting. It was very interesting. It was sometimes those are humbling too, because you don't expect in this professional mindset where you show up to a shoot or show up to a project, and you're just this is your client that you're meeting for the first time, and that's the first thing that comes out of their mouth. That's a very interesting choice of breaking the ice.
First expressions.
Yeah. But I've had a lot of other weird ones too. I know you've had some strange.
I'm trying to think. I've had a lot of old men come up to me at weddings that we have gone to together and said, "If you don't marry her, I will." That's weird.
Yeah, right in front of me too.
I don't have a say in this.
The balls on those people.
Must be pretty big because they're old.
Yeah, the confident level. Yeah, you seem to strike it off with all the older dudes.
I think it just comes from my mom. My mom only gets older guys.
Shout out. Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess that's good. I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, we're both bringing it in, I guess. What's the weirdest compliment you've gotten from me?
That my breath smells like milk. Yeah.
I said that?
Yeah, twice, actually. I've logged it because it was so weird. You're like, "Oh, your breath smells motherly. It smells like milk. I like it." Thank goodness.
Well, that was probably just that day. I can't
happened more than once.
I can't say that it smells like milk every day.
Oh, that's it.
Well, I know 100% that mine doesn't smell like milk either. So
no breath of fresh air.
Fresh of breath air. Where's this list? Because I'm curious what you have on here. I know you sent it to me before.
You want me to send it to you again?
No, it's right here, top one.
Okay.
Wow, you skipped over the first one.
Well, no, because I'm doing the icebreakers right now on ChatGPT.
Oh.
Hashtag ChatGPT for icebreakers on your first.
If I had known she was doing ChatGPT on this, I would have.
You would have been really proud of me.
I would have shut this whole operation down. No, we use Claude around here, but that's a whole different episode.
Well, I don't have a subscription or nothing, so do you need a subscription for Claude?
I mean, it's just like Chat. I mean, ChatGPT. There's subscription models, but all of them have a free version. It's very limited.
Oh. Oh my gosh! Wait, I have to tell this story. What was the funniest misunderstanding you've ever had?
Gosh, you're hitting me with these tough ones.
I'll go first.
Go for it. It might inspire me.
So when I was younger, I was quite the prankster, and we lived in North Carolina at the time. Well, my cousin Joe lives down in Alabama, so we were visiting my grandma one time, and this was when I was probably like 7 or 8. Yeah. Anyways, we were at Walmart because we were going to do like a big family dinner, and I had this obsession with squishing people's butt cheeks. Well, she went to Coleman. She had, the style that every Colemanite had, where they had like those short athletic gym shorts and then a long shirt. Well, I walked up to this random person because I thought it was her, and I squished this lady's butt cheeks thinking that it was her, and she was like a 35-year-old woman. Jill was like 12 at this point, and it got really embarrassing. But a funny misunderstanding.
Woman?
It was kind of like that. I was young. I didn't know who it was. Anyway, she jumped and like yelped, and I was like, "Gotcha!" And then she turned around, and it wasn't Jill.
Wasn't who you thought?
No.
That sucks.
Yeah.
That was probably awkward. What was your first reaction? Did you run away?
Yeah.
You just tore off and ran away. I'd probably do the same thing.
I didn't know what to do. I think I said like sorry or something, but I wasn't as apologetic then as I am now. So I probably didn't say anything. I was probably just like, "Oop, bye."
Yeah, I think that's something we both struggle with is the embarrassment we just hide. I know I'm kind of like that too. I'm just like, oh, well, if I'm not anywhere in sight or anywhere in ear, if they can't hear me or see me, then it never happened. Why did we pick almonds out?
Well, no, you asked for almonds.
Sorry. They're stuck in my teeth, and now I'm over here just like gnawing at my teeth. So one of my most recent misunderstandings, which I've told you this story before.
I'm excited because I don't remember.
So a friend of mine that we were out to lunch together. We're in a networking group, or we were in a networking group together. And I can say this because I know he would take it well now. And he probably doesn't even know he probably doesn't know the misunderstanding.
Yeah, this is your time to understand.
Yeah, so unless he completely perceived it differently, but from my perspective, this is how it went down. So he's not the most fit individual right now. He's got a bunch of kids, so over time, you can gain some pounds. He knows this. We've talked about it before.
He used to be a runner, wasn't he?
Yeah. But he's gained some weight over time, as most married men do. That's part of it. Anyway, we've had conversations about going to the gym and all of this, but not where I'm like directly telling him he needs to lose weight or anything. And so that just to give you a little more context there. Anyway, we're at lunch together, and he is talking about his political, because he wants to get into like politics, local politics and things like that. And he was kind of telling me his plan, and I was agreeing with him. I was like, okay, yeah, like listening to him talk about what he wants to do, whatever. All right.
Sorry, Nat. Got it.
Did I?
Well, I got it. Oh, there's two of them.
Yeah, well.
Okay. One for each.
Just two Nats. Anyway, to pick up where I left off. We're at lunch together. He's telling me about his political plan to get into local politics.
And
we kind of paused.
Eating.
Yeah,
Wait,
we're
did
eating.
You mention this?
We're eating food.
Okay. Yeah.
Anyway, there was a little bit of a pause, and I said, "Yeah, you should run." Meaning, like, you should run for the local government. And then he pauses, and he's like, "Yeah, man, I've been needing to. I've been going to the gym and all this." And going back to what we were talking about, how we just like to run and hide. I didn't correct him because I knew he probably thought that I meant you should go for a run. That I just changed the topic from his political endeavors to, yeah, man, you just need to go for a run. Which is not what I meant. I actually meant you should run for that.
I can't believe you did not correct him.
I know. And I never told him that. So probably to this day, he probably thinks that I meant that he probably just thinks I was this really bold person. But the funny thing is, the next day he was in the gym and he was texting me. He's like, "Hey, I'm at the gym today." So he thought I was just trying to hold him accountable or something. So I was like, I'm not gonna correct myself at all. So that was an interesting misunderstanding that I never told him, and he doesn't know unless he watches this. So
you need to watch this. Your whole life could be different.
But it was awkward. It was kind of awkward because I was sitting there. I'm like, oh, wait, did he think I meant go for a run, like physically go for a run?
Oh, you're too much.
This is our first podcast, by the way, so we're both trying to.
We're just two oysters.
Just two oysters. Yeah. The whole point of this thing is for it to be very nonchalant and relaxed and easy to set up and do. And we just, what did we plan this? What time is it?
8:30.
I don't know, like 2 hours ago we started setting up, and it was supposed to be this easy thing, and then we just kept
adding.
Yeah.
As one does.
As one does. So here we are, podcasts.
So I think it's a good time to talk about who we are and kind of what this podcast is going to be about. So Vincent and I were getting married actually in about 2 months. 2 months. It's coming up. And we have always wanted to start a podcast together. We've tried a few times. But we're actually going to hold each other accountable because this is one of Vincent's 2026 New Year's resolutions is to start a podcast with me.
I thought it was on yours too.
Yes, it was. We're both going to start one together.
I need a straw, but you keep going.
I have decided that we are going to call it Just Two Oysters because the world is our oyster and we are just two of them living inside the world. That was a terrible explanation. Everyone says the world is your oyster, but what if two of the worlds are talking about?
We're just two of them living.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's a fun name. There doesn't have to be a whole explanation behind it.
There shouldn't have to be, but I sometimes feel like I have to explain myself.
We're just beachy people. We like oysters. Well, I like oysters.
I don't like oysters.
But I don't know.
I saw this video actually where if you shuck an oyster, sometimes they have a parasite in them that's like a red, I think it's called a red rocket or something like that. I could be completely off. But it's like this little caterpillar centipede thing that's just living in this oyster. Sometimes people accidentally eat them and they get very sick and potentially die. But that could mean something, like we're both fiery people. We could...
Some days you might crack open a podcast and you'll find a pearl, and some days you might not.
Yeah, perhaps. But we do want to talk about our lives, be genuine with everybody, and kind of work on our own self-brands because we, a big part of social media, especially since Vince is starting a business or has a business, is being honest with clientele or just people in general. And everyone needs to know a little bit about you and me so that we can
grow and prosper.
Yeah, grow.
And I think for me, well, I know just most of the time people see me on camera is business related stuff. And so this is kind of like more of the, I don't know, down to earth, nonchalant, what I do in my everyday life type of person. So at least that's the persona.
Well, no, that's
what I'm trying to do here.
Yeah,
I'm trying to relax and just talk and have genuine conversation.
With the love of your life.
Exactly. With the person I have the best conversations with. So we're just trying to dig for these conversations on camera and on mic.
I do want to talk with people, though, because we are trying to scratch the surface of the wedding industry. Perhaps. I am, at least. And currently, I'm planning a wedding. We're planning a wedding, but mainly me because you're working a lot. And I think it would be interesting to just talk with potential brides about what I've been going through with wedding planning in a small town. And maybe start the conversation about bringing down the price of weddings.
It'll never happen.
You know, people are starting to call weddings of the size of 100 people micro weddings. That's not a micro wedding. Okay, how did we get into the creative space? Oh, I also kind of want to touch on during the duration of this podcast, maybe certain episodes, talk about, since Vincent and I have both kind of been in similar spaces, the film world, creative space. Vincent did not go to college, and he started his own business in the creative space. I went to college, and I do not have a business in the creative space, but I did serve 4 years at the University of Alabama, and
She served 4 years.
I served, and I have a degree to show. But I think it would be interesting to talk about what you and I have learned through the different avenues that we have experienced.
Yeah.
That would be pretty interesting. Okay, so how did you get into the creative space?
Well, as I tell everybody, I've started as a kid.
A little bambino.
Yeah, I got a camera. Well, my sister had a camera, and
Which one?
Leah.
Oh.
Yeah, she had gotten a camera for her birthday, and I was very jealous. And she was younger than me, so I, assumed that I had the right to the camera, which
of course you did.
I soon thereafter got custody of it. Well, I would ask her to use it. Anyway, I would take a lot of photos, and it was something that because I never had video games. And so I'd go outside and take photos of just random things and objects and all that. And then we got a video camera. And that really changed the game for me with my siblings. We started filming all kinds of weird sequels to our favorite movies. We were homeschooled, so very homeschooled type of thing. Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, all of that. We thought we could make it better in some ways, so we would film those, and just whatever war movies. I was big into war movies. Anyway, that kind of got the creative juices going.
Wait, so. Pause. Marsha and John, that one little video, was that based off a movie, or did you just make that up?
No, it was based off of a audiobook thing. I don't know exactly what it was. Anyway.
Okay, go ahead. It was funny.
So that got the creative juices going, and then I had a job at 412 Public House in Coleman as a dishwasher. And the waitresses would give me tips if I rolled their silverware throughout the day, because on a busy night, silverware would run out, and you have to have like the pre-rolled, silverware. And so they would run out, and they'd have to come back, and they'd have to roll it themselves to set their new tables so that they could bring in new customers.
Wow.
And so they would run out really fast, and that was kind of an issue. So what I started doing is, in my free time when I was washing dishes, even though it was a busy day, I would find time. I had down to a whole system. I would roll the silverware. And so they would start tipping me for that. So I started getting like a percentage of their tips. And once I realized I could do that, then I started doing it every day,
Hustler.
as much as I possibly could, and saved up enough money to buy my own camera. And then once I started doing that, I started taking photos on my own, and some people started hiring me for that. And then and then started doing video, that kind of thing. Joined the military, didn't do it for a while. And then once I came back, then I was working in a sales job, and I was just tired of working for people. And I knew
that they hired you for the pictures.
That's true, they did. Yeah, but I just did that on my phone. But yeah, they did hire me between.
I feel like that's where you found your passion again, kind of, because you wanted to get back into it, and that was kind of your way of being like, okay, I can do this more professionally, or you can find your audience, because I know you really enjoyed car photography, which that's how Vincent and I met, was car photography.
Man, this story takes so long. I need to get better at telling stories actively.
No, I enjoy listening to it, and I know you need to have it like in a hard copy.
So I was tired of working for other people, and I decided that after that sales job, whatever I would do would be for myself. Mm-hmm. And I would no longer work for other people unless they're my client, that type of situation. So they brought in a new GM, and I didn't really jive with his way of doing things. And I was like, okay, this is my answer that I needed. I'm going to quit. And I did. I quit and didn't have much of a business plan. Actually, I had zero business plan. I called like 5 different banks to try to get a business loan. Didn't realize you needed collateral, and I had nothing to show for it. So started from literally zero and worked really hard. And you good?
Sorry, I have something on my lip. Go ahead. Keep going. I'm enjoying this.
You're fine. But yeah, started the business, and here we are. It's 4 years later.
How was your 4 years later? Almost.
Yeah. Coming up.
How was your experience starting? Which I guess we could take turns, because I feel like I have my own perception of how it was for you, and then your own perception.
Yeah. I was living with a group of guys, Max being one of them. Max is my brother. And so I was doing everything out of that house. I had my editing set up right next to my bed, which was impossible to go to sleep at night because I'd be sitting there editing, and I'd lay down for a little bit and then be like, oh, I could do this edit, or I could do this thing to it. So I'd get up and do that, and I got zero sleep. And so I was always stressed out, and it was winter, and I don't really do well with winter. And
seemed like a very dark time for you.
Yeah, it was rough. It was very depressing. But we got through it, and that was my thing. It was like, I mean, obviously I had thoughts of, maybe I should get a side job or something to sustain myself. But I knew that if I got a side job, it would just take away from the plan A. And plan A wouldn't work unless I could give it my 100% full attention. And so I just did that. I was like, if I just, regardless of how bad it is right now, I'm just going to wake up every day and do what I know I can do to try to get it to whatever next step is out there. Mm-hmm. So cold calling people, showing up to local businesses and just asking them if they need any kind of video work. And then a couple of them believing in me and actually giving me something to do. And then it just kind of grew from there. But I didn't know what I was doing. I really didn't. But I think I needed to do that because I'm not the type of person that likes to listen. I don't really take advice and then apply it. I like to do it and then learn from it. And that's how I understand the things.
You love reinventing the wheel.
I don't think it's reinventing the wheel. I think it's just like I want to experience those ups and downs on my own, because then I feel like I don't really get a full understanding of it unless I can physically or whatever do it.
Mm-hmm. Understand it yourself.
Because some people will tell me and give me advice, and my brain for some reason just cannot comprehend it.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
I feel like
but unless I see it, unless I can actually see what's going on, like in the weeds, or actually be there doing the thing, then I probably won't fully understand the concept of ideas, and especially in the business world. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of how it was for me. But I'm glad I did it. I mean, it's still a struggle. It's not like we made it anywhere. We're still learning every day. I wouldn't say by any means that I know exactly what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. I mean, every month is a different month. It seems like there's something new that I'm learning or something else I can implement here or over there.
Yeah. It's
kind of scary, but I'd rather do this than just work a 9 to 5 and be comfortable with yeah. That's enough. What was your perception?
Well, it just seemed like you knew what you were doing. I think let's be clear. I was down at school whenever you started. Mm-hmm. So what I saw of you was on the weekends. So whenever I would come home on the weekends, we would call every night, but I don't think I really saw how depressed you were until around Christmas. And that's whenever we were having, we almost broke up because, we just couldn't understand each other anymore, I guess. And I didn't really know what you were going through because obviously I've never done it before, so I didn't know the stresses that you were under. But it was interesting to see how resilient you were, because once you got one lead, you were fired up, ready to get the next one, and then the next, and then the next. And eventually...
Where are these bugs coming from?
I have no idea. Eventually you were able to get The Office, which that was a really fun time. The Office was I think the peak of wow, this Vincent can actually do it. He can actually do something.
Yeah. Well, I think it was a tangible
The fact that you moved out of Austin's house
it was an outward
office.
sign, especially for people who were, for me, like I knew like the numbers looked good or whatever, you know, we're starting to look better. Mm-hmm. But actually getting an office is, I think that it means more than just an office. It's like, okay, this business has actually grown enough to sustain itself outside of its own, you know, birthing shell. Like it left the nest and is on its own. Which that was nice. And then being able to just go to the office and work, and it kind of helped with like my frame of mind. I'm very much I react to my own physical environment depending on, I don't know. I think my brain operates that way, where if I'm in my own space to do that thing, that specific thing, then I can operate a lot better, and it's like better for my mental health. So that's how it was for me.
How was moving back home? Because for those who don't know, unfortunately, the office got bought from the person we were renting from, so we got kicked out. How was that transition for you?
We didn't get kicked out for anything we did. They were renovating it, and they needed everyone out. And it was actually bad on their part. I will never go rent for those people, nor should you. It was...
You know who you are.
Well, at the time, the building needed work done, so I was already kind of ready to leave because I was already fed up with some of that stuff. I'd gotten past, you know, the honeymoon phase of having an office and into like, okay, this office actually kind of sucks.
No, but honestly, like it was a real heartbreaker though, because we had fixed up that office from it. It's not gone.
Jeez.
We had fixed that office up from the ground up. It was disgusting. It like the tenant before had left on a whim, so there was still garbage in there. There was still hula hoops. It was like a counselor for Coleman.
It was weird. Yeah, it was just strange.
So we had renovated a lot with our own money. So a lot of our sweat, tears, and happiness went into that. And so it was sad to see it go, because we had really tried so hard to make it a place where people wanted to commune. Yeah.
Which it did. It worked. It served its purpose.
Yeah.
While we were there. And I'm forever grateful for that.
Yeah.
But it's not the forever home of the business.
Unfortunately, the bugs started coming.
Yeah.
The trash man started not showing up, and so we got roaches, flies. It was gross.
What about...
But I loved that place because that was the first time we had a studio, and we got very creative in there, and I miss it a lot.
We'll find another one.
Okay, so transitioning from the office back into a house, how is it different? What is your mindset moving forward, and how do you envision us working out of the home soon? Or do you have that as a plan, or like, what's your plan?
I mean, the move back was fine. We're renting a 4-bedroom house, so I had already kind of had that. Whenever we started renting, I had that in mind. I needed enough space to potentially hold an office. So that's what we're doing. I've got a room designated for my office space, and then part of the garage is equipment storage. Which is fine. It holds its purpose. It's not ideal. Like, I'd prefer to have a separate office building, at least a studio building where more people can show up and do things without them being in your physical home. That's the plan. But it works great for how it is.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about Rachel for a second.
Please.
So, I went to school at the University of Alabama. Well, okay, so let's talk about how Vincent and Rachel met. So Rachel went to school at St. Bernard, and that is where she met Daniel Banbury. Daniel Banbury just happens to be Rachel's cousin by law through marriage, and Daniel Banbury was going into the military, but guess who else was going through the military? Vincent was. So they would do PT in the afternoons, and they became pretty good friends. Daniel Banbury and Rachel were pretty good friends as well. And so one day, Daniel Banbury had pictures on his Snapchat story of his truck. And at the time, Rachel was trying to get into photography. So she asked Daniel, where'd you get those pictures from? Who did them? And he said, Vincent Swope. Oh my gosh, who's Vincent Swope? Vincent Swope is this kid from Hansville, Alabama, who has 10 siblings, and he just happens to be Catholic. And Rachel and Vincent just happened to have met like a few years prior, but they never liked each other. They never liked each other, and they never spoke. So they went on their merry way. We didn't
dislike each other.
We just didn't
know about each other, though.
Yeah. We were not really introduced well. So anyways, we didn't think much of it. Blah, blah, blah. So moving forward, Rachel got Vincent's number, and she asked Vincent to teach her photography lessons. Vincent gladly accepted, and they went on their first date with Daniel Banbury. I'm telling this terrible. We can cut this out. So Vincent and I met through photography. Vincent taught me everything that I know.
No, I didn't. You taught yourself a lot of stuff too, and you went to college for it.
Well, yes, but before that, Vincent has taught Rachel everything that she has known up until this point. So whenever it was time for Rachel to go to college, Rachel said, what am I good at? What do I know? I'm going to choose creative media. Why? Because that is how to do film stuff. Why? Because she's kind of good at it. She kind of likes it. And just so happens the love of her life is also doing it. And if he's not going to go to college for it, then maybe she can, and she could teach him a thing or two. So what did Rachel do? Rachel went to college for creative media. And then I minored in art, and I focused on photography and then documentary, but I realized I didn't like documentary that much. I love it, but I'm not that good at it. And I don't really want to take the time to learn it. So I switched to producing, produced a film, and worked on a few sets. And then I got into the reality TV show film, narrative film, indie film space. I've done that. I've done script supervising. I love that. And I've helped throughout college. I've helped Vincent kind of with the business, try to help where I can. I enjoy the photography side. I really enjoy studio photography, but right now we don't have a studio, so that's been difficult. I don't want to talk about this anymore.
Well, do you want to touch on, I don't know, going to college versus not going to college? That was kind of cool.
Let's talk about going to college versus no college. Do you want to go first? So for me, I've gotten all my gigs off of pretty much the people that I went to college with or my teachers that have taught me in college. So I've gotten Vincent's in the commercial space. I've gotten narrative indie films and reality TV show gigs through my connections at college. That has been awesome because I've realized that I really love that. I appreciate the fact that teachers can see potential in a person and then they can recommend them to other people, and that opens a door for you endlessly if you make a good impression. I'm actually working on a film in June from a girl that I met on an indie film back in February. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, how many gigs have you had now just from your college references?
I want to say this is my third. So not a whole lot.
Well, you didn't even graduate more than a year ago, so you've been on 3 pretty decent sized projects in a matter of what? Less than 6 months?
I think so.
Yeah, less than 6 months.
Less than 6 months.
So that's good. And that's kind of the whole, I think nowadays is kind of the big appeal toward college is you build this like network of people.
Yeah, for sure.
Less so much of what you learn while you're there, but more so like the foundations of what to learn, but then also just the connections of people you meet, and then they're going to refer you because it's all personality. If they like your personality and you as a person, then they're going to refer.
Yeah, true. No, actually, this is going to be my 4th or 5th. Yeah. Because I had Farmer Wants a Wife, and then I had Turns Out It's the Apocalypse, We Think, and then I had that drone show. I had the drone show with you and Haley.
That's right.
And then I did the drone thing up in Huntsville with Ryan. And now I'm going to be doing Annie's a Liar. Script supervising for Annie's a Liar.
That's right.
So I've been doing like quite a few different things, and I love it. It's been a lot of fun. But it's all been word of mouth. I wouldn't have gotten any of these without word of mouth.
Yeah, I mean, it's been your college connections.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have gotten those probably unless you had gone to college. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the biggest appeal.
Yeah.
Versus someone like me, I don't have any of that. So I don't have anyone that's done a lot of good things in the film industry and who's taught at a college and then saw something in me. So for me, it was just have to get out there and prove that the work that I'm doing is good enough, and then maybe people will hire me.
Yeah.
But it depends on the person.
Yeah.
Some people benefit better by going to college and learning it that way. But then some people just can't. I'm not saying I can't learn, but I just don't do well like in that testing environment. Like to me, my brain shuts down.
Yeah.
And I won't learn anything.
Yeah. Well, I mean, same for me. I think the difference was I was forced to go and you were not. So you obviously, if you don't want to go and you're kind of nervous about that type of environment, it makes sense that you wouldn't do that. But I think you would have thrived, honestly, because I didn't think that I would do well. And there were a lot of things that I wasn't good at, like pitching a story. That's hard. I don't know if it's just because I'm dyslexic or just because I can't have I don't have chronological order in my brain. So it's really difficult to tell a story. And so in my producing classes, I always did really bad whenever I had to go up and speak to people about a story, which is sad because that's a small piece of producing. But
one of the most important ones.
Yeah. It is the most important one, is being able to tell a compelling story. Yeah.
That's okay. I mean, I think part of that, though, is you learn how to do it or how to not do it. It's not necessarily that you have to be good at it in college. You're there to learn about it. So you do those things so that you can practice.
That's true.
You say, okay, well, that's what rejection feels like. That's nothing new.
Yeah.
So whenever you go out there, you're like, well, I've been rejected before, so what's another one? And then if you get a win, that's even better. That's just like anything in sales or anything you're pitching an idea or some sort of story to somebody, then you're going to have to get used to rejection because it's 80% rejection or 75% rejection. So
yeah, I think it's just, to me, it's gray. It's black or white. You're either good at it or you're not. And
this is a reminder. Go to bed.
It's 9 o'clock. It says
Past our bedtime.
Rachel shut down time.
Why did we start this podcast?
We touched on that a little bit.
We did. Let's just run through it real quick since we already said it. I know for me, I wanted to start this podcast because originally I wanted to talk about our differences, the fact that I went to college for film and you did not go to college for film, but we're both kind of similar in similar industries. I felt like that would be a really interesting topic to talk about. And I feel like we have enough that we could relate to have a whole series about it. But also I wanted to just have a way that we could be genuine and transparent with not only one another, but also with the people around us, our audience, because there's no better way to find your people than to have. Go ahead.
No, I think so. I think I get that. I know I think one of the biggest reasons why we started this podcast was because, we're both young. We're in our 20s. We're getting married. And growing up and doing life and doing business, running a business, going to college, having all these experiences that all these other younger people are going through as well, similar to us. I think a lot of us go through the same experiences, and sometimes we don't talk about them. And so we're just here to kind of talk through some of the things that are either happening in the world, politics, business, college, work, family, whatever it might be, and just kind of chat about our opinions, because as we get older, we form more opinions. Opinions are like buttholes. We all have them. And we're here to share ours. Except it's not only fans. No, but that's the whole point of Just Two Oysters, is just for us to kind of get on here and, nonchalantly talk about just things that we come across in our daily lives and just chat, have a couple drinks, paint, whatever. There's no parameters around what we need to talk about or what has to happen on the podcast. We just sit here and chat about life, and maybe something interesting comes up, maybe something doesn't. That's the whole point of Just Two Oysters. You might find a pearl, you might not. Depends on the podcast. So stick around. You might find one in the next episode if we post this one. But
I like that. Okay, a little closing question. What are your thoughts on AI?
I think we need to do a whole different podcast episode on this. We're trying to cram too much. I think I can go down a lot of rabbit holes on different things. We need to make these a little bit punchier because we're trying to do too much on one podcast.
Okay.
I feel like.
Okay. Well, I definitely want this to be more educational than anything. We can only talk about experiences that we have experienced. So I want it to be stuff that we actually can talk about, not just commenting or,
not just talking about us, but giving input and opinions on things in life that's happening.
Yeah.
In your neck. Well, we do need to go to the chiropractor. We both know that for a fact.
We're going to get lymphatic massages.
Where?
At the corner spa.
When?
I don't know.
Oh, never. No, but we both need to. Anyway, is that a wrap?
That's a wrap on episode 1.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. That one's rough. If you watch that and you're at this point,
it was rough for us too.
Yeah. We'll be better on the next one. We got to do the first one to get to the next one. All right. Bye.